So they couldn't make it.
Yeah, Doug can't make it. Post game, first road win of the season. UVA pulls it off 75-66 at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. What were your thoughts there? I know it got a little scary there when we were stuck on 67 for whatever 5 some minutes, but we pulled it out. What do you think?
Yeah, it got a little tight there. Down the stretch, I thought they were kind of settling for too many jumpers there for a few minutes. Would have liked to have seen more of the aggressive style that kind of kept that lead held most of the way. But man, I mean, it's nice to finally just see some confidence, see some decent shooting, and it finally carried over to a road game.
Yeah, it was big time. I mean, we needed that one. I mean, we talked about the last game. Can we carry the momentum into the road and get a road win? And we did it. So let's see. We've got a few games here coming up that seem pretty winnable with some home games, and Louisville on the road. So let's see if we can't get some momentum here down the stretch. Seems like we need it if we want to get kind of back on the bubble, get on the right side of the maybe bracketology graces here. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, today was a pretty good day for our net overall. Getting a win definitely helps. Tech, NC State, Tech got a win, so I guess it might help a little. I mean, I know we lost NC State, but my biggest thing with the 3 road losses so far is I don't think people really look at it enough. We play all 3 of those teams again still. So, I mean, all 3 of those losses that we took that everybody was so down on, we have a great chance to avenge and kind of turn the narrative on that back around. I mean, I know they're home games, so, it's a little different, but still, it's a good chance to even that back up and get all those back to kind of take that off. I don't think the season's over. I didn't really think it was quite that far yet anyway. I mean, if they would have showed up completely uninspired tonight, maybe a different story, but I thought there was still a lot to play for.
Yeah, that Tech game I feel like was a big one. We needed that Tech, and then to get our first road win. Getting some momentum on the road. I think this year's ACC, you got to win road games to sort of make the push towards the upper echelon, and we got our first one. So let's hope we can maintain some of this momentum. Ryan mentioned free throws, 6-11 at the line. I'm not sure what's up. We've had this issue all year with free throws. I'm not sure what the thought is. I mean, I think Ryan airballed one. That was kind of scary.
Yeah, the
Um,
last, yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is about free throws this season, but we have not been good from the line. IMAC though had an incredible game, shooting. He was like unconscious. He had a few from really deep that he hit. That was great to see. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I really like too that he had a pretty quick trigger on a few of them. I mean, Fresh and I were talking about earlier. A lot of needing to see more movement coming around screens and everything. I guess the alternative to that is if we're not going to run around screens, just shoot it as soon as you get across midcourt and you're in rhythm just for a set shot. So, I mean, that was kind of good to see, but that's something I've been kind of harping on. I did a post in the forum. Anybody watching wants to go check it out about some of the shooting splits, home and away. And Isaac was one of the big ones that he wasn't getting as many shots. He wasn't shooting as well on the road. And I personally look at him as our biggest scoring player, the guy that if we're going to be successful, we need to get the most points out of. So it was good to see him kind of step into that with some confidence tonight and keep shooting.
Yeah, free throws, definitely something. I'm sure they shoot it at this point. It's probably mental. Jordan Miner's keeping it up. He did have two good games in a row. Having him down there definitely physicality might open things up for the guys outside. I think people talked about that last game. Just having a presence down low. He's a big body, boxing out. It's great addition to the team. Chris West with I think Ryan leads the nation in airball free throws. I don't know if that's a stat we want to be proud of, but it's very possible.
I do remember a couple, so I mean he might not be wrong.
When IMAC gets hit, we win. That's great. Let's see. Hilton, Jordan Miner being physical enough to provide some resistance in the middle. It is crucial. Like that's a big part of our game that's missing. So having him come and shoot, take up that physical. What do we have at the beginning of the second half? 17-0 run. Great. Cavalanche.
Yeah, I think between the two halves, it ended up being like a 22-3 run. I think was like the max of it.
Yeah, Miner had significant impact, stopping hedging outside. Yeah, I mean, he's just a really much needed force down low. He's not quite like he's bigger than Jaden Gardner in terms of size and strength. I feel like
Hmm.
he doesn't quite have the touch probably that Gardner has, but he definitely has the presence down there, which is really needed. Um, Dunn's air ball is due to exhaustion. I think Ryan's air ball cost him a double double.
Yeah, he had 10 rebounds and 9 points, so it would have got it. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you solve the free throw problem? I think you just keep shooting them. That's all you can do.
Yeah, you got to keep shooting. I think though, and maybe somebody listening could look it up real quick and tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it kind of weirdly developed into a problem towards the end of last year as well. Because
Yeah.
I want to say we came out last year, and I'm thinking about like that early season tournament in Vegas. They were hitting every free throw, it seemed like. And I mean, I think Caden had, I want to say it was the first game against Baylor. He was like 12 of 12 from the line or something just ridiculous like that. And then it kind of just seemed like, oh, okay, we got a really good free throw shooting team. And as the season wore on, it kind of just fell out. So,
The defense stepped up in the first half when we got down early. Yeah, yeah, it really did. I mean, they were hitting their shots, and I think kind of returned to the average there for them. And we started driving and putting it together. Yeah, B can drive. That's for sure.
oh,
I love it when he drives into the lane and creates. I mean, that really when he touches the paint, good things happen. It's really nice. It opens things up. Um, I love to get Rajesh's thoughts on the game from WFSU.
yeah.
Definitely free throws were an issue last year too. Yeah, it was a problem last year. With Kihei, we were 80% free throw team early on, and then yeah, it's Hilton. Are we still saying Tony has to blow up the system and run like Carolina?
Never quite got that far, I don't think. At least I
Yeah,
didn't.
I don't think that was ever Eric. Last year we went small and didn't get to the line much. Definitely. I mean, we don't get to the line much in general, but
Yeah, I think that's kind of always been a thing, though, right? Is we focus more on necessarily like trying to finish the shot as opposed to being bailed out by the whistle for just going aggressively. I think
right.
it's kind of been a thing for years with our teams. Just that's kind of we focus more if it means you got to kind of lean away from it a little, but you're getting a better shot out of it.
Yeah, I mean, even 2019. I mean, when we run that like sides motion, it's not really one that draws a ton of fouls. You're trying to get open shots over and over again, trying to get a guy open. So you don't technically draw a ton of fouls when you're trying to get shots off screens. So can we beat Carolina? Is Jim Romeo's question. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the game's in Charlottesville, so I mean that kind of seems like it would help at least. I mean, I think it just depends on who shows up, and that's a lot of college basketball this year. I mean, I think I don't know where it's at. This week I haven't really been deep diving into those numbers, but about 10 days or so ago, I looked at it, and only a quarter of the road games in all of college basketball had been won by the road team this year. So it's just kind of one of those years where the talent disparity is more level than normal. There's not really like these super, super elites out there. So, if we show up and we're hitting some shots like we did today and like we've done a few times in JPJ this year, and say maybe Baycott gets into some foul trouble or Ingram's missing shots, I don't know, something like that. Anybody can beat anybody this year, I feel like. It's just one of those years.
Yeah, it seems like the parity is definitely a thing. So we'll see. But yeah, home team, we're not great on the road, so getting one obviously is a really big deal. Can we hold serve at home? You'd imagine there's a chance we'll slip up on the road. At home. But I'd love to get that win, Carolina at home. That's probably it's definitely not a must win, but it's a big, big one that for the resume. If we can get a top 5 team, that might put us over the top if we're on the bubble.
Yeah, we've got that one, and then quick turnaround a week later playing in Cameron Indoor against Duke, kind of the two real marquee, and it's great that they're right there at the end of the season, so they'll be fresh in the committee's minds. And
Yeah, Dougie Fresh and Have love to talk about us running. It's just probably in their dreams. Unfortunately, probably won't happen. At least not this season. Ryan, even though Groves was blocked at the rim, loved the aggressiveness overall. Yeah, he attacked the rim. He tried to dunk that one.
He attacked the lane. I don't know if he was going to make it to the rim or not.
That was cool. That was great to see, though. I
He
mean, I
did
know
look
he got
short there.
blocked.
Air Jacob, I guess we could call him instead of Air Jordan.
I love it. I mean, it is nice. You just want to be aggressive, right? I mean, that's what draws fouls. That's what makes plays happen. Did happen there, but then he did hit the big three, the go ahead three, when we were stuck on 67. Gross's three kind of opened up the game a little bit. I mean, you figure without that and IMAX big three, you're looking at a 66-67 Georgia Tech with the ball at the end. Kind of scary thought, but we had to have two kind of big threes there at the end to seal the game. Tom, free throws as a team, 70% last year. Dunn shot 50%. Dunn is 59.6. Seems like a pattern. Yes. Jen, when will the next Jay Willie show be? I don't know. No. I'll
Good
ask Jay.
question. I'm waiting on it too, Jen. I'm with you.
I will ping Jay Willie to see when he is available. It's kind of one of those things where if we can get Mark and Jay Willie free, then we can run it. But obviously, the priority is team, family. If he has time, he'll do Jay Willie show. Thomas Carroll, we need to beat up the subpar ACC teams. The UL loss hurts us more than Duke. Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can't have a quad 4 loss. Yeah, that's very true. We need to clean up the ACC as much as we can, and then hopefully get one of those, either Duke or UNC. If we could get one of those, I feel like we have a good shot. But we'd have to like literally clean up the rest of the games. But we have a tough schedule, so I don't know what our chances are to kind of win outside of UNC and Duke. It's still a big ask, as we have some tough road games, at Clemson being one of them.
Yeah, that's a big one I've got kind of circled to watch for, just because of the different matchups. See how we do there.
Yeah. Next game is what does the rest of this week look like for us? Our next couple of games, we've got back home.
Yeah, Wednesday night we play NC State in Charlottesville, so that's the first chance to avenge the loss there.
Then we go to Louisville after that. Is that right?
Yeah, Saturday's game is in Louisville. It's a 12 o'clock early game. It's going to be on the CW. Go ahead and make plans to try and figure that out now. And then the next game after that is the Wednesday night in JPJ again, because we're kind of doing this whole Wednesday night at home, Saturday on the road thing. But another chance to avenge. We get Notre Dame that night. So,
those are, yeah. Let's see how we do. Those feel like winnable games. I think like you said, every game seems like we could win or lose. So, not one of those years where you get an off night. But let's see. NC State, I'd love to get that win next. Casey Morcell coming back. Big Daddy, that's right, the Big Daddy down low. Steamrolled Padula today. I didn't see the game. What was that score? Did you see it?
so Tech won. I want to say it was like 84-76. I didn't watch any of it, but I did kind of keep the little GameCast thing going on my phone. Let's see. I'll pull it up.
I mean, Pitt is up 17-7 on Duke right now. That's a big one. BC kept it close against the Heels from Rick. Tech won,
84-78 was the final there. Looks like Couture had a good shooting game. Burns, I mean, just 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, just kind of, I guess, doing a little bit of everything. Casey had a big game there, scored 19 points, was the leading scorer for them. So that was, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big game Wednesday night. That's a big one to get back. It's a big one for the ACC standings. It's a big one for how jumbled up kind of the net rankings are for the ACC. I mean, there's a lot of teams in the ACC from like 45 to 60, just kind of in that range.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good to try to clean those up as much as you can, try and get ahead and jockeying for position there.
Ryan said, offensively, we out-rebounded Georgia Tech 9-8. That's been a big differential that's hurt us previously. Tom's schedule has been tough, with all Saturday being road games in 2024 until Wake on the 17th. And Peggy even got offensive rebounds. WFSU's Guys, we are one game out of tied for third in the conference. Don't overthink it. Win games, yeah, for
Yeah, he's
sure.
right for sure. Yeah.
Just keep winning games. Good things happen, right? Like you let the kind of standings fall where they may, and you just do what you can do. Control what you can control. Try to win some games and see where we are. I'd I'd like to think we can get back on the right side of the bubble with a few more games like this. What was the difference maker today, Josh?
Biggest difference just in that was Isaac's shooting. But like you said, Reese getting into the paint, making things happen. He picked up a double double with points and assists. You don't see that a whole lot. But yeah, I do think that just Isaac being willing, comfortable, getting his shots, not just kind of being hesitant, maybe staying around watching that type of thing. I thought that was the biggest thing to take going forward. I think Reese is always going to be the guy on this team that just he's the leader by default. He kind of has to be.
Yep.
He's got the best handle. He is the senior. He's the guy we talk about maybe getting drafted, this, that, whatever. But I think Isaac is the biggest thing to take away as far as being a difference maker goes.
Yeah, he when he's hitting shots, it really opens up the court for everybody. And then now we have the Jordan Miner down low making a difference, getting fouls, boxing out, making a difference down low in the post. So I think that actually helps Ryan too.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's a nice mix of things. I mean, it seems like things are kind of taking shape in terms of the team makeup and the chemistry. As the season wears on, you kind of see how we're going to play this thing out. But obviously takes time. Tom, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I know anything else to look ahead for, Josh, and in terms of this week coming up.
Yeah, I kind of like just seeing, how we're kind of easing some of the younger guys in. I personally would have liked to have seen a little bit more from Blake today because me and Fresh talked about this again on the pregame show. It was a matchup where they kind of had some younger bigs. They weren't really the bulkiest, maybe strongest of guys. So maybe seeing him be a little more aggressive would have been good. Maybe keep watching to see how Leon Bond fits in. He's getting some minutes at the three now.
Yep.
I know people have been really wanting that. I personally kind of like the look with him and Dunn and maybe with Minor too. If you get some offense around the three of them, can be pretty good defensively.
Yeah, Ryan Parnell said Reese took 17 shots tonight, and that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's big for him. You like to see him be aggressive and get in the lane and take shots. That always makes a huge difference when our leader steps up and takes a bunch. Yeah, Elijah. Is Elijah hurt? I think that was the question. I'm not sure. We'll follow up on that. I don't think so.
no, I
I
don't.
think
I don't think so. Not
I don't
from
think he's
anything.
hurt. Yeah.
They keep that type of stuff pretty hush hush, but I haven't seen or heard anything to make it think that. So
Yeah, it's possible he got banged up or something in practice, but I think Dante coming back has probably limited Elijah's minutes a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. That's a big question coming. How do we utilize Elijah down the stretch here, and is he going to get minutes? Is he not? Same with Tane. Same with a lot of guys. We got a pretty deep bench,
yeah,
and we'll see how TB kind of shuffles it up, and naturally with injuries and things like that, the rotation tends to take shape on its own. So we'll definitely see that. Ryan, sorry, 16 shots. Still, 16 is a lot
16
for
is allowed.
for any player running this offense. You don't get a ton of possessions. 16 is a lot. That's great.
It was good to see him getting it done from all three levels too. He was taking the threes, he was getting into the lane, he settled for a couple mid range here and there when he needed to. It was good to see.
Ned will still need to get Rhodey going. Yeah, I feel like that's on him at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to be more confident in himself too. I mean, he did in the first half. I think Fresh brought it up during the halftime show. His guy backed up about 8 feet off of him, and he kind of just looked and maybe he hesitated a little, but he took the shot and he hit it. So I mean, that's just on him to get himself going.
Yeah, and he had. I mean, he got blocked at the rim, but he took it to the rim. I think he had a finish, one nice finish, and that was nice to see. Let's see if he can turn it on. My question, I think, Rhodey early on is, can he do it on the road? Can he do it consistently? It's tough. He took a big jump up in terms of competition when he transferred, so I think he's learning on the fly here. But he's getting a ton of minutes, so I'm hoping he's going to pay dividends down the stretch.
Yeah, and he's a guy too that just people got to remember. He's got at least 2 more seasons to play after this, so it's not like a situation where it's like, oh man, we brought this graduate in and he's not producing the way we hoped. Like he's one that we've got to kind of take the lump, the good and the bad with, so we can get it later down the road.
Hilton with feel like people criticize Tony for not being flexible, but this team has been super flexible in changing lineups. Yeah, it's hard because us fans, we only see the games, right? We don't see the practices, we don't see the individual workouts, we don't see all the things that they see. So I tend to like lean that I don't know anything. It's hard for me to judge what's going on when I'm only seeing part of the puzzle here. So I s- I assume they're making judgments on practices and individual workouts and what they see. So you kind of have to lean in on trust. It's hard to imagine just watching games you could figure it out. Dante needs better shot selection. Yeah, I like the confidence though. Like he took some shots that it seemed like a little out of sorts, but if he can hit those, if he has the confidence and thinks he can hit them, being aggressive is always good, right? Like you look at the guys that Tony Bennett has trusted in the past. At some point, they sort of decide when I can take a shot early and shot clock when I can't because I'm feeling confident. And I'm one of the people that thinks if you're feeling it, take it. Like it might not be great, but if it goes in, it's great. It's one of those, right? It can really help you. And like having confidence and being aggressive, I tend to like that more
Yeah.
so than not.
I'm kind of the same way, especially with this team. That's one thing, like I've been saying, that I just want to see more confidence from them because I mean these guys are very high level basketball players. Like they're very talented. So some of them might not be the greatest, but I'd rather have that than 17 head fakes and getting run straight into a double team or something. So
Yeah, Robert, with the injuries and matchups also play a large part in lineup. Yeah, for sure. This
yeah,
season, um, Jim Romeo. So Augusta Free Press keeps saying Ron Sanchez. Yeah, I think as long as people keep clicking, he's gonna keep writing it. Like you can't blame him. Like
yeah,
people
can't
love
blame
that.
what he's
Yeah,
doing. No comment on the material, but I can't blame a guy when he's driving up this many comments about it. So
yeah. Like that's the thing. Everybody clicks. It's kind of like a hot take, but it's what everybody wants to hear and is curious about. Or a lot of people are worried about. That's like the biggest fear of CTB stepping down, and so that's going to get clicks for sure. That's going to get clicks. I mean,
yeah.
think about it. If he leaves, that's big. That's a changing of NCAA basketball. So
Mhm.
for him, he's definitely going to keep posting it, no question.
Yeah.
And I don't really blame him for doing it. Just one of those things. I didn't know he called out the LRA blog. That's kind of cool. I don't know what
Yeah, I
probably
don't really know what the comment there is supposed to be, but I mean, okay, yeah,
it's probably or something that Who's Got Next posted, and he probably took some of that info and put it in here. So I'll have to check it out. I have to give him another click.
yeah. He's gonna
Um,
get 2 more, I guess, because I'm gonna look too.
Thomas Carroll, CTB leaving is my biggest fear. Yeah, I mean, he's, I'll put that one up here. That is scary. The thought of like he is Virginia basketball at this point. Like we've talked about it before. This is the golden era of UVA hoops. Like this is, you hate to see it end. Like you think Tony is um, going to be here forever and be our Coach K and all of that, and the thought of him leaving is very scary. No question. Everyone should be scared of it. The forward for Georgia Tech, Dondo was impressive. Georgia Tech has some young talent. Yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
they looked really good. Like they shot the ball really well in that first half. They made tough shots, and they had some guys down low that definitely you could see them being dangerous in March in the ACC tournament. It seems like a team you don't want to play. Like you could they kind of remind me of old like Florida State team
Mhm.
that long athletic and really shoot the ball. Yeah. Jen Clifton, he and George were both were
Yeah,
good.
that's the freshman point guard. Yeah, and how good is it for the league too to see these young guys come in? I mean, maybe we want to dominate them every time, but I kind of enjoy having at least some decent matchups here and there. Those two, the kid from Notre Dame, like it's just great having more talent coming in the ACC.
Yeah, seeing Georgia Tech. I mean, when I look back, like Fresh said earlier, Kenny Anderson and Dennis Scott and Travis Best and Stephon Marbury. It's been like an incredible run of Georgia Tech talent historically. So to
Mhm.
see him kind of coming back is nice. I mean, you think Chris Bosh played there. I know it wasn't like an incredible college player, but he was still part of that program. They've had a ton of talent. It's kind of nice to see, as you said. I feel like college basketball is better when teams like Georgia Tech and um, are in the sort of like high level elite talent.
Yeah, for sure. The game's better if the ACC is better. Just period, point blank. That's just it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like with football, right? Miami, Florida State, like when they're good, it's different. It feels different.
Hmm.
John, with quit rewarding that guy with your clicks. Yeah, agreed. If you don't like it, don't click it. That's the best. That's the best way to boycott. If you don't like his take, just don't even bother clicking. But if you do, if you're wondering, he's doing it based on clicks, right? He's not going to write it. He's not going to post it like the guy. They monetize off of all the clicks, so they're going to try their best to like kind of get you to clickbait you and then have you watch an ad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. All right. Anything else, Josh? Anything else? Parting words?
Just glad with how things look like they're turning around. Super, super stoked for Wednesday night. If you guys, anybody that's local can get to the game, definitely do it. Go out, support the team. They're turning things around. They haven't given up yet. We shouldn't either.
Yeah, for sure. And we might have some tickets to give away, so make sure you follow us on the forum. I think Josh will probably post them if we get them. Otherwise, great win, road win. We're on the right side of the column for once. Go Who's. Let us know if there's any comments, suggestions on the forum or on the UVA Hoops Facebook page, and we'll talk soon. Appreciate you joining, Josh, and I'm TW. We'll see you. Was it Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Let's go. Go Who's.
Go Who's. Thanks.